What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on the Snapshot, we'll be taking a look at the Tatsu and its extremely pointless passive. So you can pick up the Tatsu's blueprints in the market for 20,000 credits. However, do be aware that it does require Mastery Rank 7 to craft. Now, if you're into making big mistakes and spending your money poorly, you can always pick this up in the market pre-built along with the weapon slot and catalyst for 275 plat. Seriously, don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay, so now to address the elephant in the room. As some of you may know, this is actually a re-upload from earlier today, and that's mainly because of the fact that I got my wires crossed on this thing's passive, and I'm more than happy to admit when I'm wrong. But y'all came like Drogon from the skies with the quickness and roasted my ass. You're like, Rob, why didn't you do your research? Okay. In my defense, I don't watch other Warframe videos, mainly because of the fact that I don't want anything else to flavor my own personal opinion on a weapon. So I try to stay away from that. Plus, I've seen a lot of echo chambers happen. So for me, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna try this out in isolation, see exactly how it feels for myself, and give you guys a genuine review from that, rather than just jumping on any bandwagons. In addition, I did jump to the wiki and I read you the wiki installment. It says kills with this weapon store charges up to a maximum of 2. Accurate. Charge attacks or the third hit of the default combo consumes a charge to release seeking projectiles. Inaccurate. It says charge attacks. It doesn't say you have to chain 2 charge attacks together, and the third hit of the default combo, I have never been able to see any projectile come out of that personally. We'll try it again, we'll see exactly how that goes, and of course, lastly but not leastly, the thing that people got the most angry about was dummy. It has a secret passive, 60% crit chance on a slide attack, add melee, and we already know that this is all kinds of wrong. So, I'm just saying, I got a couple pieces of wrong information from the wiki, and clearly that needs to get edited. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump on in. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how to activate the passive. As we saw in the wiki, the verbiage was a little bit wrong. It's not just charge attacks in general. So as you can see here, here's a charge attack. No projectiles. Now, we can do 2 charge attacks back to back, but that doesn't get us any projectiles as well. You actually have to chain a charge attack into its second step. So, as you can see right here, at least with this specific animation set, you actually have to start charging the second charge attack before the first charge attack ends. So, right here, charge attack, I'm actually chaining the next one, and boom, we get the animation and we get the projectile. So, if you're using this specific stance at the very least, which by the way you can pick up from coolant arachnoids out in the Orb Valis, they're where the big exploiter spider is, and you'll see their little babies. Go ahead and kill those, and those will actually drop those little the little passive for you, which is Wise Razors. So, I'm gonna go ahead and kill these 2 guys right here. And let's take a look at that passive in action. So we do that, and then we charge into the second one, and we get our very impressively powerful projectile right there. Now, I do have to believe that Warframe is most likely going to end up buffing this, because they actually did that with the Exodia Contagion, and that, you know, got a really nice boost to its efficacy after the buff. So I'm gonna feel like if, you know, history is repeating itself, it's going to end up being good at some point, because to be honest with you, it's kind of pointless when you have to go through the trouble of doing 2 charge attacks back to back in order to get a projectile that's a little bit, not even a little bit underwhelming, extremely underwhelming, because that's that. Now, they did say that you can store up to 2 charges, so let's take a look at that real quick. I'm not getting the second one. Let's go ahead and give that another shot and see if we can actually store charges, because right now I'm feeling like I do not trust that wiki one bit. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. Let's go ahead. We're gonna kill 2. We're gonna kill 2 butchers. So that means that clearly, if we're killing 2 butchers, that must mean that we could shoot off 2 projectiles. So here's that charge attack into the projectile. We got 1 projectile. Your charge attack, there is no projectile. There is no projectile that came out of that. So I'm assuming that that's not true. So let's go ahead and take a look at the third strike of the basic combo, which again is what the wiki said would do it. So I'm actually only going to chop these enemies with 1 strike. I'm going to be very careful. not to like chain the combo. Alright, so we're not chaining the combo. So we got that. So we're going to go ahead and do the third strike of the basic combo. 1, 2, 3. I'm not seeing any projectiles, you guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try it. Let's see if the projectile's actually active. And the projectile's active, so clearly it is not linked to the combos, at least not at this point in time. Who knows? Maybe there's a bug, maybe there's something from preventing it, and at one point it did do that. However, right now it's just charge attack into the second charge attack, and there is that projectile. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of this weapon real quick, and then we'll jump into the build. So, as you can see right here, its base stats have a critical chance of 11%, which is pretty meh, and its critical multiplier is 1.9, which follows suit with that meh with another meh. We're like chaining mehs back to back. And then, of course, it's got the status chance, which is sitting at 23%, which is actually pretty decent. Now, this works quite well with condition overload because it's actually got 4 base damages. It's got the regular IPS, which is led over by slash, but what actually jumps ahead of the pack is the radiation, which sits at 31 points of damage. So its primary IPS is slash, quickly followed by puncture at 23, and then it's got the radiation. So it's actually a pretty nice spread of damage types right there so that you can go ahead and trigger condition overload. Now, the build that I'm kind of showing you guys right now, of course, is the Weeping Wounds Buzzkill build. This isn't necessarily the build that I'd actually go with. I've been playing around with this for a bit, and I feel like the time to kill... Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted to spawn. I felt like the time to kill on it is pretty consistent, and it's not bad, but I actually kind of prefer a different build. So let's take a look at this one in action before we jump into that first. So this one is all about getting as many elements in on the enemy as possible, and also taking advantage of the fact that Wise Razor has a built-in slash proc. So as you can see right there, it's taken 16 hits to take that enemy down. You just gotta cross your fingers that you manage to get your viral damage in there too, so that your slashes, your 4 slash procs, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, slash proc there. And we've got some viral, so let's see if we can take advantage of that. Just spam the basic combo over and over and over again, and that will hopefully take the enemy down fairly quickly. Now, I did have a little bit of a pause in there, so it took a little bit longer than normal, but let's give it one more shot to see how it all goes down. To be honest with you, when it comes to this weapon, it feels pretty mediocre. It's really, really beautiful, and the effects on it are absolutely gorgeous. However, it's not anything to really write home about. So as you can see, it is taking a little bit to take down this 165. Again, we're not always fighting 165s. So let's go ahead and swap out of this build and go ahead and jump into the build that I'm actually going to be using, which to me is very surprising because I said meh about the critical chance and meh about the critical multiplier, but it's actually a Blood Rush build. And you're like, Rob, what are you talking about? Now, part of me is almost wondering, because we do have the Amalgam Organ Shatter, which actually increases the charge attack speed. So I'm wondering if DE is trying to chain those two together. Unfortunately, I haven't bothered to level that one up yet, so we'll have to check on that next time. But I feel like this build is actually not half bad, especially when you can get a critical slash proc on the third slash of the combo. So as you can see right here, this actually, when you get those slashes in, it's not half bad. So we're actually down to 15 strikes to kill a 165 Bombard, which is a slight improvement from the status variation. So even though this does only have 11% crit chance, and it's got that kind of poo-poo 1.9 times critical multiplier, whenever I see stuff like that, I always get a little bit like, for real? Like, really? Like, you couldn't have just made this 2 times? Was that just too much? But then again, we do have to remember that this is a Mastery Rank 7 weapon. So let's go ahead, do that impressive passive yet again, which actually completely didn't even hit him, which is a shock, because I saw it take flight. I saw it take flight, however, it did not, it decided that it was gonna kind of lay down about halfway through. So let's try that one more time to feel like this weapon is unique and different in some way, shape, or form. There you go. We got it off right there. And I'm gonna say, like, the projectile doesn't even necessarily need to do a ton of damage. If it has some sort of cool effect, like maybe, let's say, hitting enemies with it heals your Warframe. Like something along those lines. Or maybe hitting an enemy with it puts them to sleep. Something unique and different would be appreciated. But I also kind of feel like maybe something unique and different where you don't have to chain 2 charge attacks back to back in order to get the effect would also be kind of cool in some way, shape, or form. Because this is just too much effort for what you're getting out of it, especially if it's just a single target. Now, how about this though? If, like, let's say all of your combo counter went into it and it fired off that many, because you know, like in Melee 3.0, supposedly, at least from the last time that they had said, when you use a charge attack, it's actually going to expend all of your combo counter. Now, if they made this so that the combo counter, like, let's say, you know, you have 12 hits on your combo counter, and then you do your charge attack on it, right? And it releases 12 projectiles, that would be pretty gosh darn dope. I would be into that. Now, real quick, for those of you guys, what I would wonder is, if they do keep this as 2 charge attacks back to back, what kind of effect would you like to see on it to make it worth its while? Because very clearly, that's not a thing. Now, real quick, one of the things that I do want to do is we're going to take off Blood Rush. We're going to go ahead and jump into Maiming Strike, because there was some talk about this having built-in Maiming Strike, and I know that in the previous video we did cover that, but that video was dead and gone now, so we got to go ahead and cover it here. Hold on. Maiming? There you go. So let's go ahead and show that off. So as you guys know, people were saying that this thing has a 60% built-in slide attack crit chance. And 60% plus 90% should equal 150%. So we should be getting those orange attacks in. Did I actually already test that in this video? Oh my god, if I did, we're gonna cut this off. Oh my god, it's just too early in the morning and my brain cannot remember. So as you can see so far, there are no orange crits on this whatsoever. And pardon me for calling them red crits before. I'm an old man. You have to understand that. I'm old, and I'm used to the old system. I still can call what's called a Saren's Toxic Lash Contagion, because that's how my brain works. So definitely keep that in mind. When I say red crits, I mean orange crits sometimes. I'm ancient. So that about does it for this video. As you guys know, I kind of feel like the weapon is a bit mediocre. There's not anything to really go crazy about aside from its beautiful and wondrous energy effects. It's really gotten me to turn on the weapon elemental effects again, because looking at this, it looks absolutely gorgeous, but unfortunately, it's not necessarily a powerhouse of a weapon. It's not anything that makes me go, woo, like maybe the Redeemer Prime or something of that sort that really gets my attention. Maybe even the Glaive Prime and it's like Throne / procs. Those things are kind of nuts. This is just kind of like, it's pretty and it kills things, so, you know, use it for your Nightwave missions. Kill enemies like that. And just have a little bit of fun with it. Aside from that, you know, the passive is kind of hot garbage right now. It could change in the future. But regardless, leave all of your feelings down in the comments below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!